The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
We are back. Looking live at Tostitos Championship Plaza outside Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas, where it is a wet and moist 73 degrees outside. The high today is 77. The low tonight, fellas, take a guess. 69 degrees. And we are back together. I missed you guys. Man, Jesse's running a little late. He'll be here in a minute. So
Same show.
Yep. Minus a lot of the talking until Jesse gets here. So how were y'all shows? How'd you enjoy you and Nick? Was it fun?
Oh man, it was nice, man. The fans were excellent. The call-in people were excellent, man. And
Excellent.
Yeah, so Nick tried to, get me to, be a bigger participant during the week, but I told him I'm already dedicated. And then I almost changed my mind when I walked out and Shannon called me a traitor.
I sure did.
I was like,
Yesterday,
wow.
I caught him coming out the door.
Trying to get out of this
No,
show,
that wasn't
aren't you?
because you were on somebody. You sat in on a full-time show yesterday.
Oh, I had
It
to.
wasn't even your show.
What happened was Bill was called in to do the Rangers game the other night. And
Mick
And
called you in.
Everson was on another show, so all I had was going to be Nick and Miss Christie. Mickey and Miss Christie. So they called Derek and said, "Hey, Derek, we need Nate since he's sitting there like a knot on a log, not doing nothing."
Better not be trying to jump shows.
I'm trying to get 10 extra dollars.
10 extra
Trying to
bucks.
get out of
Hey,
it,
I ain't mad at you. They asked me to do extra show. I'm in. Derek, you hear that? I will do extra shows. I do stuff for money. Kurt, how was your show?
It was good. I was with Brian Broaddus and Kyle and Barry Church. So, yeah, we had a good time.
Hey, man.
But it's kind of like...
So you talked about as much on that show as you do on this show?
Yeah, I did.
He talked.
Did he? What?
Yeah.
Me?
What?
Yeah, he got in there, man.
I did not get in there.
He got in. His sister would have been proud of him.
Oh.
It was kind of like... it's kind of like, when you go somewhere and you're visiting family or friends, it's good to see everybody. It's good to talk to them, but it's good to be home.
Good to leave.
Good to be home.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a
Back with
member
the
of Hanging with the Boys on every show but the last one yesterday, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's impressive.
We're everywhere.
We everywhere. The people show. Well, it's good to. We'll get Jesse's take when he comes back. But it was good. It's a good week. It was nice to mix it up. Only problem is you don't really know those people, and by the time you start figuring it out and start getting a little bit of chemistry, it's like, all right, now go back to your own show.
Yeah.
Which I'm not mad. I like this show.
I'm listening to him. He said, "Let's play position, but let's grade the positions."
Yes.
Oh my
We did
God.
grade the positions.
He graded the position. They giving the C's to the wrong
All right,
people.
so,
They giving B's to the wrong people.
In your opinion, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. You're entitled to yours.
Some's bigger than others.
Some stink. Some don't.
Some stink bad, and some is definitely.
Oh, man.
So Kurt, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Overall, full team,
Yeah.
coming out of the bye week, coming into Rams week. It's weird having the bye this early. 6 games in, 6 games down, bye week, which is kind of weird. But
A little weird.
what would you grade this team overall?
Overall,
Yeah.
B, maybe B plus. I think if you told me we were 4-2 at this point, it probably wouldn't be real shocked. The record itself is kind of there, but it's the way the two blowouts and everybody thought they were going to the Super Bowl, and then you just get wiped out by San Francisco. It's the games. You drop one to Arizona, you shouldn't have. So it's kind of the way those games went that it feels worse than it maybe is.
Yeah.
4-2 is not awful, but it seems like our 4-2 is bad. I don't know.
B or B plus for you?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay. Hey, Jess.
What up?
Did you get wet coming in?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your grade overall for this team?
Moist
Jess?
outside?
Trailer parks is jumping. Let me tell you something right now, fellas.
That's the show that I missed. Right
Let me tell you
here.
something
This is
right
the
now,
kind of
fellas.
talk
Let me
we
tell you
didn't
something right
have
now.
while y'all were
Let me
gone.
tell you something right
2
now.
days you couldn't talk
Let me
like
tell you
that.
something right now. You bring that big bow box
Yeah.
from Bojangles
Yeah.
round to the trailer parks
Yeah.
to this time right here. Muddy feet.
You know what the low tonight is, right? Temperature-wise?
What is that?
Guess.
69.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm going back to get another bow box. You hit the TPs with that bow box, that big yellow from Bojangles?
Yeah. That's it. Game over. Extra biscuits.
Jam.
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 By the way, before you give us your grade, how was your shows last week, or the mix-up show?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, Everson, I had Jess, and then Newey was there for one of the days. He was in Houston last night. So
Rangers messed up our whole lineup yesterday.
Yeah, I had to host.
Go Rangers.
Absolutely.
Go
Rangers. Absolutely.
So, but it was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it good to be home? Does it feel like home?
Oh, man, listen, you don't understand how much Chris is in my ear like, wrong show. You can't say that on this show. I'm like, oh, shoot. And every now and again, you just slip.
Well, there was a lady present.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. It's like every now and again, he's like, hey, you can't, not on this show. Wrong show. So I'm like, oh, my bad.
Oh, well, we're back now.
Yeah, we're back. HR didn't call, so.
That's good.
Good.
It's
Made it
good.
through.
Good.
All right. Great. Overall grade. 6 weeks.
B.
What are you at?
I'm at a B.
Okay.
I'm at a B right now for the Cowboys. The Arizona loss is a bad loss. Not stepping up to the plate against the Niners was because I'm like you guys, right? We're the same in the sense of we looked at that game too as a big game. That was a big game for us as well. Not only the play, like that was a big game for the Cowboy community. We were all looking at that like,
don't embarrass us.
come on, fellas.
Don't embarrass.
I gave the I
Beat
gave
you so
the
bad so you can't stop wearing their
man.
colors.
Yeah, can't beat them, join them. But it's like
You also know that you got some guns on you when you wear a hoodie with no sleeves.
Yeah.
yeah. You ain't the only one that work out.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We might be the only two on this
But
show.
see, you work out with real steel.
Yeah.
You lift weights.
Yeah, I'm a.
When are you saying I lift?
Because you just portion it.
That right on.
Yeah.
You at home
The
alone
right
a lot.
form.
That muscle right
Yeah, look how the arm is. Look how the arm is positioned.
You pop out for real,
See
bro.
how the arm is positioned?
Flex for me, Shannon.
You see how the arm position? It is muscle memory. It just automatically goes back to that position.
Most people do this.
Yeah,
I go,
he's like,
Oh my God, that's machine. Wow.
But B.
But B, yes, B.
Right. Where you at, Nick?
J. Sorry.
That's it. Fellas hit it right on time.
B?
Yeah, B. It's a B, man. It's right on time. Because I'm glad they 4-2. I'm glad the Cowboys are 4-2. I am. They sitting pretty right now going into this next month or this next series of games. So they sitting pretty.
It's a weird.
Where you at?
I'm B.
Yeah.
I think if you would have won either one of those two games, I'd probably be at a B+. If you would have beat the 49ers, I might be at an A.
If you beat the
lost to Arizona.
49ers, I think we're all sitting at an A.
Yeah. But does
the fact that the 49ers have lost a couple and the Eagles have lost one, does that change your thinking of maybe the Cowboys are closer than the Ravens?
Not the way I feel about the Eagles. No, I don't. Because I looked at the 49ers as our nemesis, our thorn in the side, but not the Eagles. Nah.
Eagles are. I tell you what.
Until they lose.
And they're doing it dirty. They're just doing what they need to do, and what scares me about them is they got a hell of a running game and they got a hell of a front
eight.
end.
Yeah.
Front eight.
And then they got a receiver that ain't bad over there too.
And they got the best of the sweats.
They do.
I think they got the best sweat out of them brothers.
Sweat.
What do you mean best sweat?
It's two brothers. One played for Washington, right?
Oh, Montez. And
Yeah.
Who's the one for Philly? Montez is Philly, right?
Sure.
I just call them Sweat Brothers.
I can't get Keith Sweat out of my head. I want your
Montez and Josh Sweat?
Yes,
Just
Josh
some
Sweat.
Bojangles.
Ooh.
Chris, I thought I heard you talk in the back, but it didn't come through the earphones. That's how loud you were
Josh
talking.
from Philly.
I don't know what happened.
I'm not talking.
Yeah, Josh and Montez.
Thought you were
Josh
trying to
Sweat
tell us who those guys
is
were.
Philly, right?
Yes.
Josh is Philly.
That
Josh
dude-
Sweat.
Whew, they can ball, man.
Yeah.
Good celebration too when they get a sack. They just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they worry me a little bit. And the schedule's interesting coming out of the bye because you have you play some really good teams. We were talking about this earlier, Kurt. You got what, 3 out of 4 at home? You got 3 in a row?
6, I think, and then
3 in a row, 4 out of 6.
Back at the end of that, it's 3 in a row.
But then you got some teams mixed in there that you should win. Like this week, I would not be surprised if they lose against the Rams. You should beat Seattle. Wouldn't shock me if they lose that game. And then you got.
No, we can't lose. No. You talking about the Cowboys, right? You talking about?
I'm talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, no. Come on.
But you could. It would not surprise. Here's my
Hey,
point.
Jesse, talk to this.
Here's my point.
Talk to this dude, man.
6 weeks in.
Talk to this dude.
6 weeks in, you don't
Kurt,
know
say
any.
something.
You might know less about this team 6 weeks in than you did before the season started. Because before the season started, you knew you had this, and this, and now you're like, I really don't. I don't know their identity. I don't know what's going on with play calling. I don't know anything.
Get your little brother, man.
That's your boy.
That dude done lost his mind.
they better
We
win.
lose
A long time ago.
we lose to the Rams. Come on, nah, man.
They don't take care of business, though, these next 5 or 6 games. That end of the season is going to be
Read it off. Read the
the
schedule.
home of the Rams, then they're at the Eagles. That's a big one. Then home against the Giants, at the Panthers, the Commanders.
should be 2
win
easy.
All three of
three
those.
easy
Right.
ones.
But then you start that stretch. I mean, Seattle, you're home, but that's a tough game. Then it's Philly at Buffalo, at Miami, at Detroit. That's going to be a stretch.
Detroit's the last game of the year.
And then, no, at Washington.
No, Washington.
At Washington. Yeah, Detroit's the last game of the year.
So you
One way or the
allow
other.
you
either got locked up or you gonna roll.
You
through
have that one bad game like we had against the Cardinals, but you don't repeat that. You repeat too many of them.
Think they've learned?
You're not in the playoffs.
But wasn't San Fran a bad game?
No, they got beat. They got plummeted, but nah. That's why they needed to win the Cardinals game, just in case they got plummeted by this game. You can't have just 2 games where you're supposed to win and you give it up, man. That's real inconsistency there, man.
All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, I want to know your opinions on: are we going to make a trade? We have what, a week?
Yes.
Week from today.
Trade for what?
Trade for another player to help.
Remember, we can't
This
talk
team.
about coaches or players.
That are on someone else's
That's on someone else's team.
Right.
Chris, can we say theoretically,
No, you can't.
or if we were in the bar talking,
No, you can't.
No.
we can talk about trades?
It's just
and
about
positions.
like-
You talk about positions. You can't talk about players.
Yeah.
Could you say I would go trade for that guy that plays cornerback on that team?
No,
Well, there's more than one cornerback,
no, but you can't do that.
How about
it's
this?
just like
we
the
go to
gambling.
break. This is what we're gonna
and
do.
you'll tell me what we can do.
We're going to go to break. Everybody's going to propose to trade for what player. Then we're going to get back on the air and tell everybody, oh, I think that one's a good one. That's not a good one.
All right, we'll do that when we come back on Hanging with the Boys.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole, made with real Hass avocados, will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouth-watering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the People Show. And the second segment each and every day is brought to you by blockchain.com. Thank you, blockchain.com. Also, the show that I forget to mention every day in the first segment is brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Brandin Cooks caught a touchdown.
He gonna have to show up this week because he got two dudes on the other side that show up every week. One of them just started back. What did LeBron call Luka Nuka or Luka
Puka Nuka? Puka Luka?
But he called Puka Luka. Is that what he called him?
Puka.
Anyway, all right. Back to the show. We're back. Do we think the team's going to make any kind of trade before the deadline next Tuesday? All right, let's phrase it this way. If they did make a trade, what position group on this team would you make a trade for? Because you need some help. You need some help in a couple of different places.
Yeah. Where you need help at? You got to identify where we need help at.
That's actually the question.
I think you need help on offensive line. I think you could always use D-line depth and cornerback depth. You definitely need some depth at linebacker, which you just signed a guy.
Yeah.
Safety, I think you might say you're good at safety. But, I mean, you can always use depth everywhere. But I would think right now your offensive line, your linebackers are probably where you
The problem is with those positions that you just named, I think a problem is, especially with offensive line, if you're not going out there getting a top guy, you're wasting your time. Yeah. You just let the rookies play.
Give them time. Yeah, give them reps.
Yeah, let the young guys play. Now, the other positions you may can find a crafty veteran linebacker. But offensive line, if you ain't going out getting ready to give up a first round, and a possible third for a top player, because that's the only thing that's going to fix our offensive line is a top player.
I agree on that. I agree on that. Especially I agree on that offensive line wise.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. If you traded, let me go through positions and I'll throw it out there and y'all tell me do they need help in these positions? Like, let's throw out receiver, right? You got CD, you got Cooks, you got Gallup. I think we all think, it wouldn't hurt to throw a good person in the mix.
They need a solid number two.
They got it.
Don't we all? That's the question. They probably have him on the roster, but are they not using him the right way, or they're not there?
Do they have who?
Hey,
the solid number two. Number two. I
had
is
a solid number two right before the show.
Too much information.
Too much. You know what, Nate? I don't know, and the reason why I say, because to me, watching Brandin Cooks,
I love when he thinks through how he wants to say something, because it's gonna be good.
Watching Brandin Cooks, his skill set, what he's done other places, what we've seen him do in training camp, and what he's been asked to do here doesn't equate. Yeah. Brandin Cooks, for all intents and purposes, is a one-trick pony. And we aren't tricking that pony. We aren't maximizing that pony skill. If that pony skill is to take the top off something, then we need to mount up, put the saddle on him, and allow that what is it called, that quarter horse?
Yeah.
Allow that quarter horse to run. We haven't been doing it. Brandin Cooks is not a route runner. If you were looking for a route runner, it's not Brandin Cooks. He is a speed guy, has always been a speed guy. The reason he's been so good in this league and been able to be a first-round tradable talent is because of that speed. We have yet to utilize that speed in its maximum capacity. So if we're looking for a solid number 2, it ain't Brandin Cooks. It isn't. And the only way he becomes a solid number 2, you have to change your philosophy and how you are utilizing him.
Okay.
Right?
How you use him.
How you use him, which means that's a change in the philosophy of what you want to do. And if you're not willing to do that, then you need to go out and find someone else. And I can say this name because he's not on a team, but it was a guy that I wanted in training camp. It was a guy like Landry, LSU kid, Jarvis Landry, right? Like he was a guy that I wanted. Kind of that number. He could have been a 3, but he gave you the route running ability, right? And I think that is what's so important in this offense. When you go back and you look at who were the guys that thrived in Mike McCarthy's offense. We did this. I did this deep dive when I went back and looked at what they were in Green Bay. Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Devontae Adams, all these guys that Randall Cobb. The tight ends were actually productive. Like these are the things that in Mike McCarthy's offense you need for it to be successful. We've yet to figure out how to employ the route runners in this offense and utilizing the tight ends in this offense and being able to say, here are the skill sets that we have at receiver. How do we figure out ways to maximize what they do best? Because if you look at it, outside of CeeDee Lamb, your number 2 and your number 3, however you want to look at them, are the same player. Michael Gallup is good at what? Vertical. 50-50. Brandin Cooks is good at what? Vertical. Speed. Different in what they do, same in their assignment. So now you're putting a guy like CeeDee Lamb out there and you're asking him to be whatever you're asking him to be. And then you're putting 2 other guys out there that you're only allowing them to do what they both do is run goes and slants. And if they ain't doing that right, how else are you putting them out there? So I don't think we have a solid number 2.
All right. So receiver. All right. What about running back?
That's an interesting one as well. I'm not sure.
I think you kind of made the bed.
I mean, I
think you kind of already made that bed this year.
They're $10 million, so you can't go out and you can't spend a bunch of money on another.
Because we know Rico Dowdle more.
I agree with that.
Yes,
I agree. I think everybody wants to see that.
I agree.
But then is your second running back? You're paying him, Tim. I mean, does the money get involved?
We know this team, the history of this team. You don't typically let a guy that makes less money start ahead of a guy that's making more money. That's just been the history of what we've seen.
But boy, did we live this with Felix Jones. We literally lived this same exact thing with Felix Jones. I was a part of that team. Marion Barber was Zeke Elliott. Felix was Tony Pollard. And they thought to themselves, get rid of those guys, and we're going to make these other guys featured backs. When at no point in time in their existence of playing the position were they featured backs. Not at Arkansas, not at, Memphis? Tony Pollard went to Memphis. Not at no point in time. And then somewhere in their brain, they'll go, he could be the starting running back. And then you go, what happened to the productivity? Yeah, he ain't never been a starting running back before. That piano gets a little bit more heavy on the back when you got 35 carries, in the game and you're not getting that proper. See, when Tony Pollard came in the game, he had that burst because, you got a little energy when I'm standing over there for 13 plays in a row. Then it's my turn. Like I'm like this. I'm out. Now it's like, all right, now like literally mentally you say to yourself, boy, I can't go 100 miles an hour every play because I have to think about, I got to do this in the fourth quarter. So what am I looking for? If I exert, excuse me, there we go, all of my energy like I used to in the first quarter, I'm trash in the fourth. So I got to pace myself. Difficult place to be in.
It is.
What about D-line, Nate? Would you make a move for D-line?
Only if we can get it. Once again, I just feel you got to go out and get a top flight
An elite
player.
guy?
Yeah, you got to get an elite guy.
Is that in any position? Would you just stand pat unless you get somebody for really, really cheap that you could plug in for depth? Or
if you see, and I hope I don't upset nobody, but if you really feel you was close to being a contender, you don't think about it. You go out and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But if you waiting to see, which the deadline will be gone by the time we figure out whether we're a contender or not, a lot of times you get passed by. See, Philadelphia feel they're a contender. Mm-hmm. So even when they was on national TV the other night talking about we need a safety, then the next day they signed the safety because they know they are a true contender, barring major injury. So
Cowboys aren't all in. They're not at a point where they're all in.
I don't think they are. They can say what they want, but
how much cap room do they have right now?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I think they had quite a bit going into the season, right? Because everybody's like, got all this money. Why don't you go spend it on somebody? Why don't you go do it before the season
cap's
starts?
not real either way, man. You could go and say, hey, restructure this and do that and do this.
Yeah, 12 million.
12,000. I was like, man, we ain't worth shit than I thought.
Can't even buy me at 12,000. You couldn't sign me for 12,000.
How do the players look at this though? They're like seeing Philly make another move. Philly made moves last year. Are they sitting back there going, God, we need some help? Can you guys do something?
Would a player ever go to the coach and be like, look, we need to go get this guy?
Quarterbacks will do it.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks will do it in a heartbeat. Oh, yeah, quarterback do it in a heartbeat. They get tired of it, like, man, this ain't working.
There are two types of players.
Yeah.
There are the secure players and the unsecure players.
That's right.
I'm going to speak from the unsecure player perspective. It's just frightening time for guys like me. Mm-hmm. Like, this is literally frightening time for guys like me. Because understand, if you trade for an individual, that's an immediate roster spot. That isn't practice squad, elevation, game day manipulation. You trade for a dude.
You're using him.
He's starting today. Mm-hmm. Now the numbers begin to get a little bit. Now we start playing the musical chairs.
So it's like training camp all over.
Holy moly, guacamole! Like this. Now into Halloween, it's spooky. It is spooky season for the unsecured dudes on this football team, because literally they're going to say, "You
not insecure, unsecure,
right? We'll make you insecure." Right. No, but the unsecure dudes is you're the sixth wide receiver. You're the fifth linebacker. Oh, you the ninth DB? Sorry, we about to trade for XYZ offensive lineman. Know what that mean? XYZ offensive lineman playing today. We need a roster spot. Yeah. Like Mike Brown told me in Cincinnati, nothing you did wrong. It's just a numbers game, and you the low man on the totem pole. I said, how do I fix that? He said, I don't know, but someone will call you about your flight information in a little bit. Have a good day. Thank you for your service.
Next team you go visit.
Yeah, so then you have the secure players, what you're talking about, that can go, the Dak Prescotts, the Micah Parsons, the CeeDee Lambs of the world that can go and say, hey, Jerry, Steven, we can really use.
Would an offensive guy ever say we need to go get?
No.
It's usually within their own room.
Now, if there's a situation where, like, say that there was like a high level free agent that was out there, you might get a group of guys come and say, "Hey, bro, like, let's go get so and so. He could really help our team out." But you're not gonna have an offensive guy that's like crapping on his, like his dudes for the most part.
You need a line. You need a lineman.
Yeah, you're not
mauling these guys.
Like if CD comes into Steven's office and say, "Man, we can show you a nose tackle," like Steven can look at him like,
"What do you know about nose tackles?
Go in the slant route. Like that's not even side of the ball. Like get out of my office. You know what I mean? It's vice versa. If a linebacker came and said, "Man, we should sure get a tight end," they'd be like, "What? Make more tackles. Like get out." But yeah.
All right, when we come back, more football on Hanging with the Boys after this break.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they make just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
James Wright here, your 2022 Dallas Cowboys fan of the year. You know how much I love my Cowboys, and I am thrilled to be talking to you about the 2023 Fan of the Year award presented by Captain Morgan. We're looking for the ultimate Cowboys fan to spice up the game. That means you eat, sleep, and breathe the Dallas Cowboys. If that's you, or if you know someone like me, then go to DallasCowboys.com/fan of the year, and you could win tickets to Super Bowl 58 and so much more. Enter today.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the last segment of Hanging with the Boys, brought to you each and every day by the official dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jigsaw. Thank you, Jigsaw. Okay, question. What are you laughing about, man?
Oh, man, just get on, man.
Okay. Just what?
No, go ahead on. Go ahead on, bro.
What are you laughing about?
Just thinking about,
Do you whiten your teeth?
Nah, they come like this, bro.
You have some really white teeth.
Yeah, they come like this.
What do you brush with?
I just put like a lot of
baking
black,
soda?
Deeper black, make brighter
Makes your
whites.
teeth brighter?
Yeah.
It's like color contrast. The darker you get, the whiter your teeth.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right. So what kind of, or if, do they make?
You sound better when you say I feel.
I feel, this one's hard to say I feel. I feel like I want to know. Do they make big time changes in the bye week with it being this early in the season? We all have pointed out what we think is missing offensively and defensively and all that. Do they make any kind of big changes during the offseason, and when the players come back in, they're like, wow, this looks different? Or are they so subtle and minute and just small things that they would do on a week-to-week basis anyway that you really aren't going to notice a lot?
Talking about first,
I would say
plays
play
in,
calling, like us talking about using Brandin Cooks more.
They're going to tweak a few things. They're going to tweak,
nothing major.
Nah, because if you got to do that right, then you didn't have a very good off season. You didn't prepare. You had no foresight to what's coming up. Mm-hmm. We can't tell you how good Philly was going to be, or we can't tell you how good the 49ers is going to be, but you had an idea who their players was and their basic philosophies. Mm-hmm. And if you got to just go do a major overhaul, like Coach Belichick said what he was going to do with his team, like, hey, man, we changed. Cowboys can't afford to do that. Somebody will get fired.
Did we see any tweaks in that Chargers game with, Prescott ran a little more and that Cooks got a touch?
I think Dak took it upon himself to be a little bit more aggressive, because we've seen, like, for example, the read option, right? We've seen the read option, and we've all screamed at the TV, just keep it, and he finally kept it. And it fooled. Like, you can tell by the way the Chargers reacted. They saw on film, hey, guys, they're going to do the read option 99% of the time. Ford's going to give it up. And that 1%, he didn't. 18-yard touchdown, right? And then, you look at the other touchdown to Brandin Cooks. It was no different than they've always run that shallow. All he did was run a shallow cross, and Dak just kept fading, and just thought, okay. Tony came across, picked up the blitz, great block by Tony, and he just floated one in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. So it wasn't anything that they did different. I think Dak just finally took it upon himself to be. Dak finally took it upon himself. I think he had like 40-something yards rushing. He did what Jalen Hurts has kind of been doing. He made himself the 11th man. He made them now have to play 11-on-11 football. And when you do that, for the Cowboys, when teams prepare for the Cowboys, they're always thinking about Dak isn't going to be a runner, right? It's like he's not looking to tuck it and run. So if I'm a linebacker, I may go and not kind of keep an eye on him so much so because I'm not worried about his legs. As if I was a Daniel Jones or a Josh Allen or a Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson. There's always a guy that's kind of spying in that area because they know that this guy can be a threat with running the football. Patrick Mahomes. For the most part, it's like Dak, he wants to throw from the pocket. He doesn't want to be a runner. So I can get a little bit lazy in my my spying or looking at the quarterback, and now we play 11-on-10. And I think Dak in that Chargers game inserted himself into the plan and said, no, you'll have to play 11-on-11 now. And it's those small little things where you break the pocket, where you even the big play to Tony Pollard. What happened? He avoided the sack. Instead of him trying to find a guy down the field, he scrambled, act like he was going to run, looked back inside, dumped it off to Tony Pollard, 60-yard gain. So it was Dak, to me, being more a part of the offense and just instead of running the offense. He inserted himself to make it an 11-on-11 football game. And when you have that advantage, when you make that an advantage for you, that's what we've been begging for. Like, hey, rookie Dak. The thing about rookie Dak was he was clean with the football and he would tuck it and run. And when you do that, you find those third downs, you find that extra yardage, you find those things, those drive continuers and those drive movers because guys forget about you and you use your leg as an advantage.
Dak should never walk in any game trying to be and I know that don't sound good, but elite passer, no. Name but 2 or 3 of them in the league. But being a part of the game, like Jesse just said, he should walk into every game saying, whatever it takes. He got to be one of those guys that believe whatever it takes. If it means me throwing a bomb for the touchdown to win the game, or running for the extra yard for me to win, whatever it takes. That's what type of guy he should be.
I think that's perfect what you said. I think Dak took upon that approach, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it takes. Yeah. I think a lot of times he comes to these games and he goes, I'm going to be a pocket passer, right? I'm going to be, like you said, I'm going to be one of the elite passers, and sometimes it doesn't work for him. But that whatever it takes mentality, 170. If I have 179 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and I run for 30, 40 yards, and we win, whatever it took.
Yeah.
Right? It's whatever. I think Dak is better when he's in that whatever it takes mode.
Is this a one-off, or is this something we're going to see going forward?
I hope he watched film and he's like, okay, all right, I got to do more of this, right? Yeah. Especially coming off the bye, your body feels a little bit fresher. You're kind of you don't have any nagging injuries, I hope. But I hope he looked at film and goes, you know what? That version of me helps us overall becomes a better unit, because now instead of me trying to force passes into places, because if Mike is not going to change what he does, and the players like Michael Gallup, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, like Michael Gallup and others who can't get off press coverage, if they aren't going to either replace those players or call their offense differently, then that's still going to be an issue. Pressing the Cowboys receivers and them struggling to get off press coverage, or zoning it up to where you leave Michael Gallup one-on-one and he can't get off press coverage. If that's going to be the similar approach that you go into the second half, Dak has to go into that whatever it takes mode. Because if you think that's going to work in the second half, when you play against those teams that's going to get in your face and press, and mess up your timing, because this West Coast offense is a timing offense. You hear my feet have to match up with their routes. My depth has to. Everything has to be on time. So if I'm at the top of my break, at the top of my drop, and I'm ready to release the ball, but they timing got messed up because of the press coverage, and that's how. Just how y'all behind the scenes. This is how defenders look at this. Oh, we're playing the West Coast offense. Their offense is timing. 1, 2, 3, ball out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ball out. If I can interrupt that timing in any way, shape, or form, now that quarterback gets to the top of his drop, and you see it so often, Dak Prescott, it's, oh, I'm looking for the next guy. Timing's off. Linemen are blocking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In their minds, ball should be out. So they may even take a breath on their blocking. Guys have leaky coverage, have leaky pockets. Guys get in, sacks, tips, stuff like that. So that's the part when teams begin to press the Cowboys that makes their timing off. So if they're not, they have to change one of the two: how they do things, or the players that they're asking to run it. Because if they don't, we'll be back in a situation saying they lost another game. They shouldn't have lost that game. But these are some of the reasons why.
Did I just see on TV what I thought I saw?
They just suspended this kid for one of the sorriest late hits.
Kareem Jackson?
Yes.
I think for him, he's a
repeat offender.
He's a repeat offender.
A big time repeat offender.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to start suspending people for hitting folks too hard in football games. Is that? I didn't see the whole thing. I didn't see the play. I don't know.
The play that he got suspended on, I guess, because he done got fined over $90,000. Over 90. Come on, man.
Yeah.
If that was our money, we'd be a little upset, but come on, not his money.
They suspended him 4 games for that hit.
Come on, man.
With no pay.
Did you see the hit?
Yeah, I saw it.
It just looked like a hard football hit to me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They said to the head and neck area, and he's a repeat offender.
On a defensive receiver.
Yeah.
So,
football is changing, fellas.
Man.
Done changed.
Man. All right. Thought I saw that. I just want to make sure.
That's why I didn't want to not pay attention to what Jess was saying, but I saw that right there. Suspended?
Kareem Jackson for the Broncos on the hit on the Packers receiver. So, All right, fellas. It's so good to be back together. I'm so glad we got our show back. I love everybody else.
So you small enough to fold your legs in that chair.
I might be able to put both of them up here. I put one up here for sure.
He's a little old guy, man.
Flexible.
Yeah, be able to put all 3 of them in this chair. Anyway, what time to go? It's a good show. See you guys. Another good show. Good seeing you, Jesse. Good seeing you, Nate. Good seeing you, Kurt. Chris, thanks for keeping us on the air.
Kurt. How you say
Jazz.
Flexible. Flexible.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping Chris company.
Well, like you tell the wife,
Flexible. Kurt knows about that. He got 4 kids. Flexible. Be back tomorrow. What are we doing tomorrow? Cowboys offense, Cowboys,
Rams
defense. We get to talk about Aaron Donald all show tomorrow.
Aaron Donald show.
Let's do it.
We can talk about it in one aspect, but we can talk about
yes. Can't talk about it in that aspect. We can talk about it on the field tomorrow. That would look good in the
same place. Hanging with the Boys is back. The People Show. See you tomorrow.
We out.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!